I'm live. I see Buffalo Brian and Dizzy Izzy are here. Scat Pack Chat. Well, it could be. Brian's looking forward to No Name Nationals. Me too. Great vacation. Not for me. It'll be a good time, but it's not a vacation. It's got to be somebody hustling. Old McDonald has a car. Is that Greg McDonald? I think so. Let's see here. Mexican Spec is here. Pure Pontiac Garage. Let's see here. Does nothing special. Start to trickle in. Yeah, I didn't have a guest book tonight, so tonight's freestyle. I don't know exactly what we'll do. I've got the guys for Burnout Competition next Friday, and then I'm going to have the No Name Nationals pre-live. That's where we try to get all the questions you have. We'll talk about camping. We'll talk about itinerary, all of that good stuff, and that'll be on September 15th. So tonight's just informal. I figured I'd work as long as I could on the old house. I've got some pretty cool stuff there. I'll show you guys now. Well, that's what I've been doing. I mean, my hands are even still kind of dirty from doing that. But I was working on the old railings. It's got old wrought iron railings, and they've been set in the concrete steps, so you can't just take them out. So I made the best of it. Where they're rotting at the bottom, I welded that up. Had a broken spindle there or picket or whatever, and I welded that up. Ground them all down, primed them, painted them. Really tightened them up, made them nice. So that's one down, and I think 6 sections to go. And then I had this rotten window well. So I welded a piece of steel across the bottom of that. And that's glass. You know, I had a piece of plexiglass just to keep the weather out, but that's glass. I'm going to actually put a window well around that to keep the earth off of it. And you can see where between the gas company and the fellow who ran the gas line that they're in the wrong spot. So I'm going to move that. Anyway, exciting stuff. I see Bad Tree Blake is in here. Mater's Workshop. Poor Boys Brad. Poor Boy says, my car is slow. Don't bet on me. Well, I'm not betting on anybody, but you guys can do what you want. Indirect Connection. Turbo Tom. Colina's in here. Andrew Nelson, glad you could join us. Yeah, good crowd. So this evening is freestyle. I didn't book this one because being the Friday before Labor Day, it's just kind of scattered and people are everywhere and doing everything. And yeah. Barrows, I saw you were live just before this. I don't know if you got something cooking, if you're working on something in the shop or something. If you want, I'll split screen you if you want to. I saw that like right when I sat down. So if you want to do something like that, we can. Unfinished Project is here. Man, Unfinished Project's been working hard. I'm glad that you're here, man. I get worried about you. It reminds me, old Rich 220 is now expanding his restoration services to everyone. So if you have some restoration work you'd like done, he's got a video up. He can do it for you. Mohawk 38 POS Racing. I saw a Shop 209 sneak in here. My mom's here, Technician Troy. Yeah, just stopping by. I didn't have any agenda tonight. I figured this might be a little tougher. Barrows $2 super chat. That goes in the general fund, and you know what? I appreciate that. You guys might be surprised to know where the super chats go. And Mater says, thanks for being on the panel with him Monday. Of course, I'm glad to. Shop 209 says 20 days. Actually, it's 19 days, 3 hours, and 54 minutes. Two Hacks is here. What's up, Jeff? Jeff is I guess he'd care if I say he's in just gotten, I mean, like as in a day ago, gotten him a car trailer. So his Warbird is now going to expand to where it'll go. Because see, until now, Jeff has only driven his car as far as so he'll do like a 3-gear tire smoke and burnout, maybe about one town away, just however far his jungle gym burnout takes him, and then drive back. But see, now he can trailer to a new location and to start the burnout. I think he likes burnouts more than anybody I know. I really do. If Jeff had a funny car, he would say, "Okay, I do exhibition burnouts. How long is your shutdown?" That's what Jeff would say. ACC Garage NSB is here. Glad you all could join. Indirect Connection Jason. I like Jason, Indirect Connection there. He's a no excuses warrior. I like guys like that. Yeah, Jeff. Well, don't tell me you don't resemble that remark. Poor boy says, "I can't wait to see Jeff's car." Yeah, me neither. I want to see that thing. It looks cool. It sounds cool. And video doesn't do everything justice. Like, there's things you do not get the same sound on your videos as you get to your ears, like listening to a car in person. And also, it doesn't give you scale and things like that. And it's just, so videos are awesome, but we also want to see stuff in person. Barrows, I really appreciate you. See, this is the thing. I appreciate that, Barrows. It shows that Barrows is a grateful guy, and I appreciate him. But I can say this: people like him. I mean, yeah, we organize this thing, and it's for you guys. But man, people, especially like him, really give back. You look at it for the last year and a half and more. Look how much he's given back to this community. Helping guys with their channels, just being encouraging, good role model, and that kind of thing. Barrows he's one of the ones who's given back more than most, and so it takes people like that. Same thing with Big Mike. When I needed somebody to chair the fuel fund, I said, you know what? Since I know all of you guys, I don't think anybody would even call it an ethics conflict, but at the same time, I want to avoid even one step removed possibilities of such things. So I knew Mike was a really upstanding, smart guy, and that he could recruit a couple other people from the community and have the right checks and balances to make sure that everything's done fairly. And we've got a lot of guys that just give back. Wendy, Wendy, let me tell you, it's not fun having plantar fasciitis in your foot really bad. And last year, it's not as bad this year. Last year, it was still just killing me. But I had Wendy to help give me a lift through the pits, and I couldn't have been on my feet that whole week, without that help, So just people giving back. Joe's a great ambassador, Colleen's been practically an advertisement for us. So yeah, the list goes on and on. So you guys, we really appreciate you. Your efforts absolutely do not go unnoticed. We thank you. I mean, it takes people with the spirit that you guys have to make this event worth doing. That's the point. If he did unfinished project, Jeff using the T-Bird to pull the trailer, that would be freaking cool. I actually told William, I said, William, you put your Cushman, because that Cushman will fit on a little single axle trailer. I said, you should put that behind the Charger and tow to the track. And he said, the Charger needs a little more structural help to do that for him to be confident, but I wouldn't rule it out. It would be pretty neat. Yeah, I understand. Absolutely. People just swinging by. That's totally cool. I didn't really want to, shortchange anybody on Labor Day weekend, because a lot of folks have plans and such. So I didn't want to, tie anybody up to a live, especially a live like, tech or anything like that. Or if we booked in guests for No Name Nationals, maybe a weekend that might not get to turn out or anything like that. So I figured this would be a good one to keep open for freestyle. I got to say, too, I really like that you guys all greet each other in the chat. That's really cool. It shows how much that you guys care about each other. Four Boys said just Mopar Joe's videos bailed him out of a few things. Indeed, you can learn a lot watching Joe's videos. Let's see here. There's Andy, Unity Motorsports Garage. Andy doesn't discriminate. He likes to give a shout out in every live. How you doing, Andy? Four Boys have been keeping up with Bad Tree's transmission. Yeah, you know what? I got to tell you, that was one of the. Of course, I remember when the Bad Tree guys were like just getting off the ground. It was, it was neat, and one of the first things that I picked up on with them that really I thought was super cool, because I'm a transmission nerd, is them doing their own transmissions. And to me, that's just instant. Okay, these guys are all right. That's one of the first Bad Tree things I thought was cool, was that they do their own torque flights. I'm like, yeah, these are some good peoples. Most of the old parts and Russ Patrick is in here. Pure Pontiac Garage. I couldn't remember. You come to No Name Nationals? I can't remember off the top of my head. Dizzy says most of us anyway. Mike says we're all just one big crazy family here. Yes, I would agree with that. Rob's Rods and Streetcars. You know, Rob, I was thinking about you today, you and Clay, for my next project. Year 2, we're just barely beginning to have more than just data. Now we can actually start having some real statistics to go with it. And I was looking, if things hold up the way they are, it's going to be pretty close to 2/3 of the No Name 500 made it both last year and this year. Although this year it should be a little better. Actually, last year I think it was 70%. And this year we're on course to probably have a little better than that, probably more like 75. But I was thinking it's really cool that we had guys who came back and avenged the No Name 500 in year 2. And you and Clay did. And to me, that's really cool. That's called not giving up. Jackie Abbott is here. Sometimes she beats Patrick to the chat. She's fast. Unfinished Project says JMJ has the best Mopar content on the tube. Could be. It's good stuff. Andy says, better now. I'm not in Florida. Okay. All righty. I don't even want to know. Colleen says, I know there were people upset about the event being during the school year. With what they teach now, 3 days with, well, I'll tell you what, there's going to be people upset about absolutely anything you do. I mean, absolutely anything. And the school year now is moved up into August. I mean, I know that the school I went to started mid-August, but now I all do. When I was a kid, the public school started up after Labor Day. So it's just, there's no way to win that. You have it during this event, that event, school year, this time, that time. Just there is no way to win. But I know one thing: where we have it now seems to work for an awful lot of people. The weather's really nice. Statistically, your chance of rain is 7%, which is excellent. It can be as high as 40% different times during the summertime. So 7% chance of rain, that's fantastic for any outdoor event to have odds that good. Let's see here. There's Rapid Transit J. Raker's here. Blake says the cope valve body is magic. Yes, they are. Been fighting a breakup at 3,000 the past 2 days. Going to watch some Iowa Hawkeye football, take a break from the car before I shoot it. understood. I got to tell you, there's a lot of value in that. Taking a little break, getting a clear head, and walking back to a problem almost always helps because you get rid of that tunnel vision, whatever it was that was, you know. So I get it. You got to break up at 3,000. So I remember you had that problem on Jeremy's car. It had some kind of weird thing that was causing it to get a miss at high RPM. So you'll solve it. You guys are good like that. First responder garage is here. Auto salvage just walked in the door. Pure Pontiac Garage says, my car's not ready, making no excuses. I just didn't get it done. Man, that's refreshing to hear. I like that. That's just straight up honest. I like that. But I hope you'll still come. I mean, understand that. I've maintained from the beginning. I still do today, and I mean every word of it when I say, to me, I want to just see you guys show up. It really, truly means a lot to me for the content creators themselves to show up, even if whatever they planned on racing or showing or burnout with does not. I get it, that we want to bring our cars, but the way I figure, as long as the content creators want to come out and come to this family reunion, the car part will take care of itself. As long as everybody has a good time, wants to come back, the car part, that'll take care of itself. Shop 209 says a few channels from last year disappeared. That's going to be the way it is, though. And we've got a lot of new names. We have a handful that, haven't. Some I know why, some not. But, not really bad, nefarious reasons. But we did move it a week. Some people have a conflict with this. Some people have a conflict with that. And some people, it's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. You're never going to get every single person. That's just life. That's how it works. Just Mopar Joe says, hope Casper is flying soon. Casper might be flying now. Shouldn't be as cold this year. I didn't think it was cold last year. Remember, it was a little chilly in the morning, but it was nice. The weather was really nice. Although I like hot weather, so it doesn't bother me at all. Dizzy, so Dizzy lives around there. You're saying it's probably going to be a little warmer this year than last. We moved it up a week, so, but still, I got to tell you, if the weather is anywhere close to what we had last year, it was great. The finished project is singing there. Dean says that Dizzy, Izzy, and me are the only ones that have had to regularly with certified crazy people. So you regularly certify yourselves as crazy people? Is that what that means? Not sure. You're both characters, that's for sure. Buffalo Brian says maybe they should bring the school kids to the No Name Nationals. Might learn a more valuable lesson about the real world. Well, indeed they could. They could learn some things. It would be an incredible field trip. Hey, you know what? And I'll say it right now. If there's a teacher that wants to bring a busload of school kids in, holler at me. You can make that happen. Make that your school day on the Friday or something. It'd be great. Mohawk just got an ad. I didn't tell it to. Battery says, hopefully the works of bringing 3 cars works out. Boy, that would be cool. I got to tell you, there's Battery. So one thing that those guys have done probably more successfully than most YouTubers, not to say there's not many things, but one thing that really stands out is that their cars have such identity. I know that there's a lot more people naming cars now, and they have a project, and the project will kind of run its course and so forth. But the Battery guys have seemed to be more successful than average at keeping named cars in continuous progress and service and that kind of thing. This is why the Nacho has such a following. That Crew Camp Dart has such a following. Um, they're good like that. It's just something about them. But I think that's cool. So that's why it's super cool to see them thinking of bringing 3 cars, because it's not just bringing 3 cars; it's what 3 cars they would bring. Hot Rod Guy Garage says, "What's the camping situation at the track? Costs nothing to camp. Come set up. I'm going to be there on Wednesday. If you need to come in and set up on Wednesday, you can. But understand, track is not going hot till Friday. No one's getting on that track until Friday morning. The Thursday, Tech is going to open at noon. But yeah, camping, you can set up. You can bring any size camper you want. Got plenty of room. You can camp in a tent. We've got grass for the pits too, hand paved pits. The one thing, we have shower houses. One thing we don't have a lot of is power. Do not count on having power. That's the limited thing there. Unfinished project. Don't forget, BB is giving me a welder tonight. Bondo Billy's welder. Is tonight the night you're going to win it? Is that it? I've been to Las Vegas a few times. I've never been with Unfinished Project. Maybe I should try to make that happen. Not that I gamble. Although, I kind of won $10. The first time I ever went to Las Vegas, I got off the plane and I'm walking to the baggage claim, and there's slot machines everywhere in the baggage claim of the airport. So they're all about that. And there's 2 $5 bills laying on the ground with no one around them. So I'm walking by. I didn't even slow down. I reached down, scooped them up, kept going. There's nobody around. I mean, I thought if there was somebody sitting over them, I would ask if they were theirs, which it might not be honest, but you got to do the right thing or attempt to. But anyway, yeah, so I'm $10 ahead on slot machines because I've never played one, and yet I got $10 laying on the ground next to one. Danny Boyd says school could never be that cool, especially today. I would guess not. I got out of high school in 1994. So I know that today I would not make it in school like I did then. Poor Boys is doing a test hit Friday, and then he's parking it till No Name Nationals. All right. Brad is one of those guys that you can count on to show up and, I mean, just have it together. I got to say, last year was really neat. I would get there at 7 a.m. every day. And at 7 a.m., Brad is already there, got the flags out, the booth open. I mean, just professional, has it together. And I like that. He really cares about making sure to meet and greet and be there and have it open. And I just think that's cool. It shows the event, and his viewers who came in and show up and want to see him, among other people, shows them a lot of respect. So I think that's cool. The old McDonald has a car, said train today's kids to track, and they might be the future pod racers across our solar system. As long as they're not the future Tide Pod eaters, I think you got something. Jerry says we're bringing 2 cars this year. You bringing the Ford? That'd be cool. Jeremy said, howdy, heathens. Buffalo Bronze is a great reply. Oh, I'm not sure to what. I've been replying to stuff all evening. Filthy hippie. By the way, speaking of that Cope call. So first of all, I didn't know that was coming. He just sat down and freestyled that one take. So what you saw that he shot there is one take, no editing, nothing. He just had stuff rolling on his green screen. But so you got to hear my genuine reaction to the Drunken Pumpkin. I'm still laughing about that. He's a funny guy. Mr. 300, Brian's been working on the car for 300 years. $85 a hot dog. That's just him. I got a kick out of it. Colleen said, if it wasn't so far away, I work with a scout leader that would love to bring his kids. They love the Hot Rod Power Tour. Yeah, yeah, for real. It would make a neat field trip. And Yeah, I'd be glad to talk to somebody that wants to do a field trip or scout trip, something like that. I mean, all of us are on the clock and we're all old and we're all going to croak one day, and there got to be young people to replace us, right? That's how it works. Big Block Blake, indeed. Hey, teach, I'm tardy again. Just don't be tardy on the light. See, we can show them how important it is to be punctual. You know, when that last yellow comes down. Dean made a punctuation or grammatical error of some kind. It's okay. Usually in context, we get it. Y'all get connected with Junkyard D. Yeah, I'll tell you what, Junkyard D is still grinding away. He's got just over, I think, 300 subs, something like that. Um, Junkyard D, keep hammering away, man. I think you're going to make it. I think you're going to make it like Mopar's Mustangs and minivans, Dizzy as he did last year. Going to slide in under the wire, but I think you can do it. Make sure to support these guys who are trying. Because I got to tell you, not giving up has almost exclusively separated the ones that make it. Tony said my torque converter showed up today, got it installed. Really close, done with the underneath stuff. Well, good. So I'm working on my van, and that van is a bear to get under. It's got these running boards on it that it's always had, which, you know, yeah, I know it's always had them, but they need to come off because I want to do some lake pipes on it, right? But I'm under this van, 13 grease fittings on the front end, and then I look at that, 16-mile long drive shaft that all those vans have. I'm like, man, well, I got to do it. So I shimmy under that thing, an inch at a time, slide back under it. I get to the front U joint. I did not feel a grease fitting at all, right? So now I'm like, all right, am I going to just have to feel stupid if I go all the way to the back and there's not one on that one? So I just chanced it. I'll wait till I have the backup for something. But anyway. Joe says Jeremy the hippie extravagant. Maybe. Ha! Wendy did that a few days ago. Someone threw away a $10 winter lottery ticket. Went straight to the gas fund. I don't think I've ever seen that. That's pretty cool. Shop 209 says class of 92 here. Well, good. We're both old. Cope is watching from the old 49er drive-in movie theater in Valparaiso, Indiana. Well, cool. You're going to watch it from the No Name Nationals drive-in movie theater. And by the way, on that, I know the drive-in thing is cool, but the more I think about it, we're going to be setting up on the spectator side with that giant screen to keep people from the temptation of starting stuff up, because one really loud car in the middle of the movie is going to get on people's nerves. I think we're better off just bringing the lawn chairs and blankets and all that good stuff over and just sitting up in the grass like the civilized people that we all pretend to be occasionally. And that'd be better than that. Now, if you do want to set your vehicle up and do it that way, you could do that, especially if you have a truck, like Haney or something like that. But it really needs to be over there like well in advance so that, we're not moving it during the movie. But yeah, that screen is big enough. And where I'm wanting to put it, unless there's some objection, looks like there's not going to be any problem. I'm wanting to put it to where you can see it also from the stands. The stands, the track, well, it would be to your back, kind of, if you're in the stands facing into the pits. But if you're in the stands facing the spectator side on the pit side, those would probably have a good view too. So it'd be a neat little setup. Shop 209 hasn't started building his No Name Nationals ride yet. Well, I'll tell you what, if there's ever a guy who can thrash and get it done in 19 days and 3 hours and 30 minutes, John, it's you. Hot Rod Guy Garage wants to know who all's going to make it an adventure by driving the car. They tend to compete with lots of guys. Well, Tony, are you going to drive or trailer? That's the $1 million question. Turbo Tom tells Colleen the 4.7 has problems with overheating, warped heads, bad oil rings, and throwing out rockers. Yes, those are not very durable engines. Man, on paper, they look fantastic. But then in reality, they just aren't. I've done some stuff with the 4.7. And for those of you who don't remember it, about, I don't know, 2 or 3 years ago, I did an April Fool's video putting a 4.7 in my Dart Sport. Had a lot of people going with that. Dean Stevenson says in 76 and an 81, he had the same class and teacher twice. Okay. Sounds interesting. Dizzy Izzy installed an emergency off and started doing rust repair. 3M body panel. He's okay. That sounds fun. Yeah, I appreciate all of you who are making an effort to tighten your cars up to pass tech inspection a little better. I really do appreciate that. And hey, once you do it once, it's done, right? It's not like something you have to take time and money to do more than once. Hang on just a second. I think this USB is having fits here. See if it's happier now. It did that last live for some reason. And Tony's Hot Rod Garage figured it out. And Tony, I need to call you. And I keep forgetting to do that. Jerry says, bring in the Fiesta ST as well. Gonna hurt the feelings of some V8s and possibly enter the burnout contest. Whoa. I gotta tell you, that little thing is quick. I enjoyed watching your footage when you were racing it that week. Track and Travel with Rick's in the house. Jure the Elder. Cope says, hello, all you no-name heathens. Yeah, there's lots of heathens in here. We know that that's his Bad Trees folks, but there's a lot of crossover here with their heathens. Jeremy wants to see reverse donuts in the Ford. Well, hey, got a place for it. Dean wants to see how neutral drive, top and reverse can be applied at the same time and the valve body still work. Well, I don't know. Usually if people get 5 neutrals. Track and Travel says last points race this weekend, and then it's time for no-name nationals. That sounds like excellent timing. You get through your points race and then got a couple of weeks to get ready. That sounds good. NSB Custom Cars. I need to come down to sunny Florida and see you guys sometime. Turbo Thompson's class of 84. Sound like that would have been a cool time to be graduating high school. That'd be pretty close to the fast times at Ridgemont High class right there. 15-inch tires are getting tough to find. Yes, they are. Bad Tree says, can I project the Iowa Penn State game on that screen Saturday night? Unfortunately, no. Not my screen, and unfortunately, no. JB says he misses Shop 209 videos. Hey, I have yet to meet Shop 209 John in person. I'd like to. He's a cool guy. Laura says you should take the seat out of the car and watch the movie at No Name National. But you could. T's Good Times Garage. How's it going? T, is things shaping up? You've got 19 days and 3 hours and 24 minutes. You got a pretty good little haul. How long is your drive? Good times, T. Ricky, game will be on the RV Saturday night. Tickets in advance. Yeah, it's not my screen. Not my screen. Jay says JB's little shot may have made a few people's upset with his Wednesday talk, but it had to be said. Well, JB's not exactly known for hiding all of his feelings behind diplomacy. So Colleen's got a silent auction at work looking at a Ram 1500 with a 4.7. If I blow it up, I've got 3.318s. But with a 4.7, it's a matter of when it blows up. Jeremy says, do you need a helmet because you're slow? Oh, that's an underrated comment there. But yeah, in a literal sense, you got to have at least a DOT helmet. Unless your car is 764 or quicker, then you need a Snell 2015 or newer. Dean Stevenson left one of the most esoteric comments I have no idea what to do with ever. It's because those 4.7s use Maserati V8's bore spacings. And as soon as Lee Iacocca left, all the Italian engineering left in sympathy. What are you trying to do? Give me a stroke, Dean? I don't even have any idea what to do with that. So Shop 209 doesn't want to blow up his Franken Nova. He's saving it for a Rocky Mountain Race Week. Well, hey, bring whatever you want. We just love all the diversity of cars. Although that said, Shop 209, if I had to guess, will be bringing a Nova. That's probably a pretty decent guess. Apparently, Big Mike's looking for some 10-inch wide rims. Mike, let me know what you need. There's a chance I've got some here. Yeah, I know Shop 209, but there's a lot. So the drag and drive thing, there's a whole bunch of them now. There's dozens and dozens of them. And it just, the expense of renting the tracks, you have to get a certain car count and you got to charge a lot for each car. And it just changes everything. So I would rather have one really cool 3-day party than try to stretch those logistics and costs out to do something like that. When the minority here that would want to do that do really want to do that, but it's just, I don't think so right now. I think we just keep working on this, keep making it better and cooler, and I just think that's the route for now. That said, I wouldn't rule it out. I mean, we'll see what things do. One thing I'm kind of careful not to do with this, when you go to these really big events, and any of these really huge ones are like this, like Carlisle's like this, they have stuff going on everywhere all at the same time. And you're doing a whole lot of choosing what you want to do there. And I get it. I mean, that's fine. Some people will always want to be at the swap. Some people will always want to be at this part of the show. Some people will always want to go to, this talk. Some people will always want to see this display. But you got to do so much picking and choosing. And No Name Nationals, you don't really have to do that. There is cool stuff going on different places, different times, but it's not that disjointed. It's just kind of like the chassis dyno thing. So when do we do our chassis dyno? I mean, and Do we do it? Whose racing do we take away from by having a crowd of people around that? That's the question. Um, it's just these are tough things to figure out. But that's something I am looking at, thinking about it. Yeah, swap meet. There are reasons we didn't do a swap meet. That said, if you want to bring parts and just put them out in your pit, that's fine. I just think that the swap meet thing changes things a lot. But yeah, I mean, people have brought parts and put them out for sale in their pit spaces. I mean, it's not we don't have a problem with that. Most of the old parts and rust had a 4.7 that I could not blow up. Had it hot, pulled a trailer, did 4-wheel burnouts with it. But 20,000 hard. Well, that's why right there. Backwoods Custom Crap. I got to tell you, you got some interesting stuff going on there. I've been checking out a few of your videos. Interesting stuff. And Shop 209 says they're not all done well. I'm assuming you mean drag and drives. I don't want to not do something well. I don't mind doing something that you grow into and that kind of thing, but I'm a guy that likes to try to do things judiciously and take enough time to get them right and that kind of thing, and not just dive in and then jerk the rudder everywhere. Trying that's just not my style. New Guy's Garage says I wouldn't compare me with a legit legend like David Vizard. Well, I wouldn't. Wouldn't either. 38 says I'll just bring requests to bar. Yeah, I mean, we don't care. Junk Car Willie did that last year. Or if you guys had some parts out for sale, it's fine. I mean, it's just the swap thing. Just as it's a different animal. I wouldn't say never, but Unfinished Project said if I knew then what I know now, I would never have sold my hatchback Nova. JB says the trash truck will be there this time, and all I want to do is beat Buck this year. Right on. Yeah, Patrick. Those 4.7s actually, it's got plenty of power. It's kind of an off and on thing. They're okay until they're not. Like a 318 can just suffer and have death rattles and problems forever, and it just slowly goes down, But not with a 4.7. A 4.7 can be fine, and then it is totally not fine. Yeah, Colleen bought 2 tires from Willie last year. Hate it when I said something. I have my filing cabinet here with my phone on, and I'll set something away and forget about it. I'll put my elbow. I do that about every other live, so it's usually that loud. New Guys Garage says my target is LNA Auto Works. Thumper, you've been quiet. What's your ETA look like? I see William, the reigning burnout champion, who has a big target on his back. I'm gonna be live with William next week, so we'll see how that goes. There's gonna be a lot of competition in that this year. Shop 209 says I'm not calling anyone out until I have a car ready, so maybe 3 weeks. You know what? I read that as 209 needs to be called out. Barrow says if you do bring parts, just have an honor box. I pretty much guarantee you'll have more than you wanted in it. Yeah, probably. It's a very honest, honorable crowd. That's been my experience. Yes, very good, honest group, and that's important. Thumper's been busy, had a visitor, car runs, truck runs. As long as nothing bad happens, I'm on track. Right on, man. Looking forward to meeting you this year. Mater says Sturgis and No Name Nationals will be nice to attend next year. Make it happen, ma'am. You've got 380-ish, some-ish days, I'm guessing, if we're about the same weekend and everything. JB says, well, here it goes. I'll call out 209 just to get beat. There you go, John. You're welcome. Yeah, you got a call out. Okay, he took it. So there you go. That's on. Now, 209, he's got a blower on that truck. So go check it out. I saw it moving on video here a day or two ago. Auto Salvage says it's on. $209 though, he's a different kind of dude. He's the kind of guy 19 days ago don't have a car built, and I still fully expect he will. He's that kind of guy. He's better at most than taking a pile of absolute nothing and having a functioning car. That's just, being good like that, experience like that, and he's a talented guy. I don't mind saying that. Old McDonald has a car. I'm assuming that's Greg McDonald. Yeah, Dean Stevenson looks like he's speaking in French, whatever that's supposed to mean. Just Mopar Joe says, hey, NGG, yeah, you know me. Joe, you getting your last little things in? Joe's always got his stuff together way ahead of time and everything, and just like just wax the hood and put up a short of it just to remind you people how ready to go I am. I think Joe would do something like that. Thumper 38 is calling Thumper out just to encourage him to be there, beat you to the track. Well, Thumper lives at the North Pole, so he's got a pretty good commute. Hot Rod Guy Garage says one thing's for sure, I'll definitely have the fastest Geo Metro there. Yep. Joe says last year I buffed the car on Thursday. Yeah, it's a good looking car. Dr. Art is here. There's a doctor in the house. Says hello, sir, and everyone in the chat. Yeah. How's it going, Dr. Art? You got the Ranger all dialed in? Justin Hill is here. How's it going? LP94 says, don't forget to bring y'all's American flags. Yeah. I like the American flag. I like the American flag like it is, personally. I just like to honor the flag. I like it. I'm into flag code, doing it right. It's just me. Roy Boy is here. Roy Boy, you turning out this year? JB says Shop 209 has some stuff. Just wanted to give him a reason to get there. Yeah. Backwoods says, did someone say foot race? I got to tell you, we had some threats of a foot race for people who didn't have their cars together. And I'd be good with such a thing. We could do that. We could have a foot race. Boy is going on a bike trip. Maybe wheelchairs. Well, Cope's going to have Mr. Haney's wheelchair there. So Justin Hill, are you going to be there? I'm just kind of asking people out of curiosity. Stan Nelson says big wheel races are funner. Well, yeah, I don't have a problem having some goofy stuff like that. I'm good with that. I told one fella that he could something they could race. I'm good with that. I gotta be careful because sometimes I don't know for sure if they want it said what they're planning to do. Let's see. Got everybody cheersing and greeting, and Auto Salvage says that getting back to work after a few months, it's good to do something. Yeah. It's funny because I've been at work, whether I'm at work or not at work, I'm always at work because that house is work. So this time I got the window welded up and railings welded up, and it's just never ending over there, but it does keep looking better. There's Buff's garage. Buff, what are your travel plans like this year? Just curious what your itinerary is. Trying to figure it out because now we're kind of getting it's September now. It's this month. It's Thursday after next. That's when this is. Thursday after next. Yeah. I mean, it can't sound more real than that, right? Dennis says, no pressure for me. I'm ready to go. Right. Yeah. Sounds great. I just keep trying to refine things so that it makes the administration of this thing a little smoother. And it's definitely smoother and more worked out this year than last, which is to be expected. Certainly should be. And then, wow, Buff's been everywhere. Just got back from Sioux City, Iowa, then to, is that Kabul, Missouri? I think they say it like a Middle Eastern Kabul, I think. Can't remember. Yep, Buff's going to head in early. Yep. Oh, by the way, I'll throw this out there. Oh, we got a bunch of people in the chat. One thing we need to figure out this year, and I'll do what I need to do, we still need to get a PA system because last year we were using Iris J's, and Jay can't make it until Saturday, which means we would not have our PA for the burnout competition on Friday. So let me know if any of you guys have a PA system, or I could rent one. I think Tony's Hot Rod Garage says he would help me hook it up, but that's one of the little hanging chads I still got left. I need the dude to call me back with the water barriers, but the PA is one thing I don't have lined up yet. I need to figure that out. But we're going to have improved lighting in the burnout pit this year. Last year, our reservations on light plants, they really let us down. Different company. This year, I have a different company, a better company, hopefully. They've been great so far. They're in Sykeston, and I I've got two 30-foot mast light plants. They're diesel. It's gonna turn that burnout pit into daylight down there. It's gonna be great. So, and last year it was good. Last year it was really good. In fact, the one thing that helped us out were the guys with the rescue squad. They turned their ambulance lights on. They had some big bright work lights on it, and the lighting was good. I don't have any complaints about last year, but this year I think it'll be even better. Thumper took the 68 to a car show 2 weeks ago, trailered it, drove it a block to the show. Everyone stopped to look as I rolled in and out. Yeah, I bet. Buff is working on Vantana, so listening in. Oh, Buff's a character. 30 Aces don't get it too bright in the pit. I want to see the sparks. Yeah, well, I'll tell you one thing, though. I know the track owners don't want to see sparks, so we got to be judicious about that. William is still working on getting his Cushman there. Okay. Need a humongous shop fan to blow smoke that way. Well, we smoked out the neighborhood pretty good, so I got to call the Minor Fire Department because they're actually closer than Sikeston. And they were really cool last year. Came out, filled up our water barriers, and got to call them for three things. One, we need them to fill the water barriers. Two, I just want to invite them to the event because, hey, they're certainly welcome to come out and spectate, whatever, just like everybody else. But three, I got to let them know that is not a fire on the side of I-55. Because if you don't know better, you would think so. That's why they didn't respond last year, as we gave them a heads up. So we'll do the same this year. Because if the fire truck shows up to the burnout pit, we're going to try to see if the fire truck can do a burnout, right? And that's what makes sense. So Charger 383 Mopar is making a winch mount for my Ram to pull it up in the bed. That'll actually look pretty cool. Thumper said that was Marquette 3rd Street Car Show 2023. Cool. Joe says they better watch out for T's Good Time Garage's swinger. I would agree with that. Yeah, and JB says Tony may be doing a live later, and he may, and if so, we'll hand off to him. T's going to try to be trouble for a few. Yep, I'm glad you're going to be there. Hey, what is your commute, T? If you don't mind, it's a good one. Man, Williams cutting up a tailgate to make room for the trailer screw on the jack. My goodness, man. Purpose-built stuff. So, T, are you going to try to claim any of this bounty over here? Boy, wouldn't that be something? You're the one that quietly slid in there and get Joe in that bounty. That'd be a neat story. Half-Wit Lab says driving through Iowa with a 454 big block strapped into bed. Good times. Yes. Picking up a big blocker is always good times. Yeah, a friend of mine has a little Toyota truck. It's a little low to the ground, 2-wheel drive. And we picked up engines with it. And man, it is just a dream. It's perfect for picking up engines. That thing is so low, you can take an engine stand. You stand in the bed, take an engine stand. You can roll the stand up over the tailgate. It's those trucks are so low to the ground. They're great. There's nothing better for hauling an engine than that, I don't think. Yeah, Buff, I know you moved recently. How far did you move? T's eastbound and down out of Salt Lake City. 70 out and 80 back. Yeah, you can do that. Neat. Mean Street Mopar. How's everyone doing today? Well, I'm doing all right. This is the fun part of my day, spending it here with you guys. How about you, Mean Street Mopar? How you doing today? Yeah. Patrick, Joe say hi. Yeah. Halfwit's just rubbing it in. Well, you go right ahead. I do like a 454 though. I'm not an X brand guy, but those are good engines. I do like them. Buff says 5 hours to Sykes and some of it on Route 66. Cool. Yep. Mean Street, we're glad you're here. So Mean Street, while there is time for you to make your 500 subs. Believe it or not, there is time. That said, just know, you're a welcome part of this community, and we're looking forward to seeing your projects shape up and everything, and looking forward to meeting you. Buff just did an EFI swap. Yeah. I've only done one EFI swap. Tall Garage says I'm running out of time. 19 days, 2 hours, 59 minutes, Ken. But in the grand scheme of things, that's all we do in life is run out of time. I mean, isn't it? Isn't it all we do is run out of time? So, Smoke Wrench says, y'all don't be fooling. There's a Dart Sport that's winning that bracket race. Right on. Dean says, what you lack in time, you gain in height. Maybe. Main Street says, unfortunately, my car probably isn't going to be ready. I'll be there anyway. Right on. That's a winning attitude. And the thing is, you'll get there. You're going to see what it's all about in person. You're going to meet a lot more people in the community and make connections and so forth and so on. And you watch. You're going to be one of those guys I can totally see. If you don't make it this year, you might. I'm not ruling anything out. But you're one of these guys I can see avenging that next year and a car done and everything. And then the year after that, just be an established channel re-registering, and there's a lot of guys who followed that path. There's a whole lot of guys on this page right now. 1, 2, 3. At least the first 3, 4 jumped on me there. 4, 5 that I'm counting just in the comments right now are no name 500 guys, past or present. Ken was last year, Tall Garage. A lot of these guys were Unfinished Project, Smoke Wrench, Bean Street. Buff just missed being able to be in the No Name 500. I think when we did our first No Name 500, I think Buff had just right above that, I think. Or he could have been a No Name 500. And Buff has 30,000 subs now. Buff, how close were you to being able to jump in the No Name 500? I mean, you jumped in and registered right away, but I think you had just more than 500. Roy Boy says guys are going to be faster this year. Yes, they will. Yeah, Mean Street. I'm saying there's a lot of people that are there and networking, and their cars get farther along, and just keep plugging away. You'll get to meet more new people that weren't there last year. Dizzy says the Vagrant is going to be on a mission. Yep. Yeah, Buff says I was within 100 subs at that point. Yep. So Buff was 500 and some. Yeah, there you go. I mean, we were all No Name 500 guys at one time or another. All of us. I was saying if the No Name Nationals had been around in, say, 2019, the No Name 500 would have been rocking. You'd have had me, the Bad Tree guys, Just Mopar Joe, Andy from Unity Motorsports Garage. That's just off the top of my head, would have all been in it. Rocky's saying his junk car Willie signed up. Let me check, because Willie told me he was registering today. I've not received it yet. Roy boy, go remind Willie. He will. Tall Garage says, is he going to scare us again this year with his burnouts? I don't know. I know there are a few things we're going to do to improve that. One is we're going to go the length of a barrier back, and I'm going to rope it so that we can still be close to the wall, but we can't have people hanging over and filming over the wall. Another is we're going to have a commitment stripe when you enter the burnout box. You can't break traction before the stripe. So there's a few things like that that'll, that we'll do for safety's sake. But can you still get in and cut up and have a good time? Absolutely. Yeah, Buff started in December before I knew about it and had one video blow up, which gained me the most subs. Right. Well, good for you. Chris 103 Customs made 1,000 a day. Cool. Right. Rocky, yes, he did. And just remind Willie, because Willie messaged me yesterday and said he was going to say he will. Willie comes through. He had a great time last year. I fully expect him to be back. Clint Street Machines is in the house. Must drive car home. Hopefully. Cave Dave says people could do dangerous things safely. There's a difference between something that is dangerous and something that is unsafe. Racing is inherently dangerous. It does not have to be unsafe. Cave Dave, you'll appreciate this. I was training with Ken Hackathorn, and he said that that distinction exists. So, like for instance, when you do downrange drills, he said, yeah, they're dangerous, as is everything you're doing in training. He said, but it's not unsafe. You're not doing something that's patently unsafe. Buff says people are loving my air conditioner videos this month. Rock on. I don't have air conditioning in my life. Smoke Wrench has got to bounce. He's got to go do some secret tuning on his Dart Sport. Thumper says it's unsafe the way I do it, and his thumbnail literally says I cause safety briefs. Yeah, we're going to have a pre-NNN live just to try to work out all the little things. Any last minute questions about itinerary, these kind of questions and stuff. We're going to have that on the 15th. And our burnout guys are going to be on here. Not all of them, obviously, but we're going to have a nice little panel. We're going to have Chris from Busted Radio Garage. We're going to have Square Body Chad. He's, it's work time, but he might sneak away to spend some time with us. We're going to have the Bad Tree guys, lots of guys to talk about doing burnouts. And, of course, our reigning champion, William. So that's going to be a fun live with the burnout competition guys. So we had a live discussing the bracket. We had a live talking about 2018-5. We have live talking about that. Dean is worried about Smoke Wrench. Very kind of you, Dean. I did get to meet Smoke Wrench briefly at Indy. He's a cool guy. Hot Rod Guy Garage, his chat froze for 5 minutes. You're lucky. Dean says Dizzy Izzy's going to rock it. All right. Dizzy, what are you planning on doing this year? Hadn't asked. That's one thing about this event is other than having to pay $100 bill on top of your registration to run in 2810.5 because it's got a bigger purse. Other than that, everything is included in your registration. So you could come in, register, you could run bracket, you could run monkey bike, you can do burnout competition, everything. It's all just in your registration. The only thing that cost a la carte is because we need the extra for the purse for 2810.5. Chris says, may bring my car in a box truck. Will a flatbed company local be able to get it out on the ground for cash? Oh my gosh, that is so a totally on you thing. I don't even know who I'd ask. I got to tell you, Chris, one thing that might be easier than that, truthfully, as much as I want to see you get it out of a box truck, would be you could rent like a U-Haul pickup truck and a transporter trailer. That might be a lot less sketchy. Clint has some good advice for this. He says, call ahead. I did it several times when I drove a flatbed tow truck. Oh, there you go. 38 says, what night was the bracket live? I missed it. I don't know off the top of my head, but it wasn't that long ago. I had Jury Racing on there. I had Joe on there. It was the live. We're talking about the bounty on Joe. So I had several of the guys for the bracket on there. So that's the one. So Dizzy, you're doing a live stream from the burnouts? Is that what you're planning to do? Colleen says, no, you can't. U-Haul changed their rules. Colleen, I'm sure he wasn't going to ask them. I mean, why would you do that? Of course they'll tell you can't. Dean Stevenson cryptically talking about M&M. 38 says must have been one of the last 2 weeks. U-Haul can be difficult. They can be difficult. You know what's funny is U-Haul, they'll ask you what you're towing to make sure that you don't have any problem with the weight of what you're pulling or whatnot, what you're pulling it with. So my neighbors over here have this big camper. It's about as big as you get before you go to a fifth wheel. And they traded in their truck and got this SUV. And I'm telling you, that SUV is not big enough for that. I'm like, I hope you get where you're going with that because it is not enough vehicle to be pulling it with. Colleen said they wanted me to rent a 15-foot box truck to use a car hauler, no pickup. Oh, wow, that's really rotten. That's stupid, too. But whatever. U-Haul hates Corvairs on their trailers. U-Haul hates everything. Everything except big, expensive one-way moves. And I know the U-Haul corporate at least used to do this because I've heard it from too many dealers to know, they can't have all talked to each other. But when they have a big one-way rental, they'll just screw someone over that has a local and just burn them. Just Mopar Joe says I'm signing wanted posters at NNN for anyone without a CRT sticker. Oh my goodness. Is the wanted posters available? I have a few of them. Nice ones. Like on nice stuff here. Colleen said they couldn't tell the computer I was towing a Ram 50 with no engine. You got to tell them a 1962 Peel. That can't weigh 800 pounds. Busted Radio Garage, how's it going? Clint says, is it too late to get an NNN sticker for the drive out? Possibly, because I got a box from Schultz Sign today. I don't know exactly what all's in it, but I got to check. That said, I will have plenty of them there. Hot Rod Guy Garage says, should I name my channel Hot Rod Geo Garage? Well, it'd be different. It really would. I got to see what I have, Clint, because people really ran me completely out of those small stickers, but I'll have plenty there, that's for sure. I just ordered 300 of them. Yeah, William may have more of them than I do. I got to tell you, people, we went through them pretty good last year. Would like to put it on the tow vehicle to drive it. Yeah, I get it. I get it. I'm eventually working toward to where I'm going to have some inventory here with shirts and stickers and such. Last year, I'm just trying to. So, all I really care about. I want this event to pay for itself. But again, it's one of those things. If I can get just a little ahead, leave the money in the bank, of course. But if I can get just a little ahead, I want to have some stickers here. This year, I'm going to have some shirts here, which will make it easier to do shirt giveaways. Bruce Colgan wants to know, what's a CRT sticker? It's a Cope Racing transmission sticker. And Cope Racing Transmissions is one of the people who has a bounty on Just Mopar Joe. It's not a Critical Race Theory sticker, nor have I seen one, nor do I want one. It's a Cope Racing transmission sticker. Mean Street Mopar. I would say that we're on course to have at least as many as last year. Halfwit Labs is sitting at 268 subs. You'll get there. Yes, it's learning to edit is interesting, but the big thing is that we want people to share their stuff with this community and get involved with this community, and that's how we do it. We put up videos and show what we're working on, and that's what we do. Buffalo Brian says, I don't have a sticker. Does that mean I get a poster also? That's up to Joe. Yeah, so much different than the audio editing software. Yeah, the audio, like I use Filmora, and you lay your stuff out in tracks. I've gotten used to it though. I've never done any audio editing apart from doing video editing with audio. So I'm used to it and good, at least proficient enough with it. But it's all a challenge. You got to learn it. Buffalo Brian, you going to race a demo derby car? Buffalo Brian, he could have a neat YouTube channel of his derby stuff. I'm telling you, I told him that last year. Yeah, Clint is all savvy with this kind of stuff. I am not. Filmora is what I use I don't even put that many videos out. I'm usually just live, but I do some videos. Got a handful of tech questions here, but I'll have to get them over to Deke. Brian's transporting the 62 Valiant. Good times await. Indeed, they are. So, Buffalo Brian's in the process of building the next Derby car for next year. You know, you can run the Derby car at No Name Nationals. Clint said, like to see more Dart Sport videos. Me too. I do have something that I'm really hoping to be able to do this fall. I'll let you know. Buff switched to Phil Moore this week. Glad I did. Yeah. I don't know. I've had good luck with Phil Moore, but I haven't upgraded to the latest one. It's weird, and I'm using what I'm more familiar with. Dust Devil Brian just told the guys at O'Reilly about the No Name Nationals. There's like one guy in this entire town that knows I'm a YouTuber, and he's a dude that works over here at O'Reilly. And he's like the only guy. And when I go in there for parts, I won't even be thinking anything about it. And he'll just mention something that's like, hey, what about such and such? And I'm like, what? He'll say, yeah, you were talking about it on your live Friday. And I forget that he watches these. So he watch this one. Tell me about this one next time I'm in O'Reilly, man. So when I went over there last year and I had the van and I had the Cousin Eddie hat on, and Lunar Outlaw Brian was with me, and he had cameras all over his Buick. And he was picking up a belt or something on his trip from Texas up north and stopped by my place on the way. And that was just funny. So I see Sam Mountain Ballistics Hunter is in here. Dean Stevenson says, do I have to do the regulatory walk 39 paces in the opposite direction thing again? What is that, a duel? Is that what you're doing? Or a field sobriety test? What is that? Looks like Jay wants to call out Brian's knuckle duster. One-eyed cat says round numbers make it for. Why? Why? 39 is a neglected number. You walk 39, I'll walk 38. Are we talking about a duel? I'm not going to do any of that. I'm going to wait while you're counting away over there and pop you in the back because I'm not going to die in a duel. That stuff's crazy. Daddy's Money Garage says, don't ask about the insanely dangerous things I've done in the jet today. Dizzy says, heel to toe. Dizzy, you're speaking from experience. I watched one of those on the side of the road in Williamsburg one time. A guy got stopped right in front of the motel where I was staying out on the road, and they're doing a field sobriety test. Halfwit says he's definitely going to be trying to be there this year. Cool. Excellent. I got to tell you, Halfwit Labs, the thing that really helps you is registering early and committing early and gets this community. You get on the radar a lot more in the No Name 500. Dizzy says, nope, never got a DUI. Good deal, man. I wasn't saying any kind of judgmental or anything. I just, you mentioned it. I thought it was kind of funny. Nope, that's a good thing, though. Daddy's Money Garage says I fixed like 90 things to improve some stuff, but there was a white hot fire involved, and that's not an exaggeration for once. Okay. I just want to know if the Jets going to make a clean pass this year. Are you still going to shift it like, a 90-year-old guy shifting a dump truck, or are you going to let that thing eat and power shift it and spray it? And what's the program for the jet? Because we still don't know what that car will actually do. Yeah. Roy Boy's saying the cop says say your ABCs backwards, and the drunk guy says I couldn't do that if it was sober. I gotta tell you, that's hard to do. I've actually tried doing that before. I like to watch these police videos where they do traffic stops. Shout out to Arkansas State Police. Man, those guys are they have a lot of notoriety on YouTube for being good at these traffic stops and pitting people and high speed chases and such. But yeah, I like watching that and DUI field sobriety test, stuff like that. And I watched them say your ABCs back. I'm like, man, that's hard to do. That really is not easy. Of course, most people here know that the deal with the field sobriety test is if you agree to take it, you have failed it. Just a total farce. Just they've already decided the person's under arrest before they ever even ask them if you wanted to. I hate it. I really hate and that test was designed to be able to determine the blood alcohol content of 0.20. So how is the test now supposed to work when it went from 0.20 to 0.15 to 0.10 to 0.08? See, it's a crooked racket where they just arrest whoever they want to, and all that stupid human tricks is something to take into court. And I'm a teetotaler that doesn't drink alcohol at all, and I don't think drunk driving is the least bit cool. I think it's awful. But I'll tell you, as somebody who believes in the preservation of our rights, that has always bothered me. That whole field sobriety test thing. But anyway, I digress. Yeah, Tony knows what I'm talking about. And again, I don't believe in drunk driving at all, but the breathalyzer thing. What you're basically doing is that's a violation, I think, of your both your Fourth and Fifth Amendment. The breathalyzer. Again, I don't condone drunk driving whatsoever, but the person who values our rights does not agree with those things. Buff says major overreach going on. Yes. Colleen says 38, you're dunk. Twisted Mopar says best thing to do is don't comply with anything at a DUI stop. I don't intend to, but I've never had them try that on me. Hard to cross-examine a camera or a machine. Yeah, I have real problems with the way that system works. Twisted Mopar Garage says I was a cop for almost 12 years, and you know what's going on. Daddy's Money's Garage says in most states, just getting your license is implied consent to a breath test. Refusal to the breath test is a violation. That's how they get around the fourth. They've been doing nothing but getting around the second for a century. So what does getting around it have to do with making it any more righteous? Twisted Mopar says if you're diabetic, you're not supposed to take a breath test. Well, that's interesting. I didn't know that. Dean Season says I'll take the fifth. Yeah, we have egregious overreach going on here. It's awful in all facets. think when people whimsically give their rights away is a really bad idea. Dizzy was a Navy MP for 2 years. Oh, that's cool. Oh man, Tony just said, well, here's the new thing I learned tonight. Yeah, we all have holes in our knowledge about all various things, and I don't know a lot about that. I'll admit that. Unfinished project said there's a guy that takes a lot of offense near me. Unfinished project. I think wherever he lives, there's like this sign, a tenth of a mile before his driveway and a tenth of a mile after, that just says, "Throw your liquor bottles out the window now." So they just cover the whole front of his place. Dean, I wouldn't call it a get out of jail free card. Joe says they pile those fifth bottles everywhere. Yes. It's something. Dean says he has holes in his alternative reality too. Yeah, Dean, you live on another planet, my man. Something strange going on, but it's interesting. Yeah, Tony, I thought about getting a CDL to have one, but eh. I don't even have the enhanced license to fly on a plane yet. I haven't, had any need to fly, but I'm going to have to do that. Uh, Chris, Class A. I guess that's hazmat. Or I think Class A has hazmats. What the classes are offered around here. Dean says it's great down here. Well, I've never been to the land of the unarmed. Mohawks had a CDL for 38 years. Cool. Chris wants to get a car hauler for YouTube events, 10 car. Well, I mean, I know for this event, depending on where you are, that'd be good. If we had a car hauler that was coming from California here, I think there's a lot of people who would be good on that. Yeah, Class A's combination hazmat's a separate endorsement. Usually the class they offer here is a Class A with hazmat. That's why I asked. I couldn't remember if they were combined or not. I just didn't know. Clint visited New Zealand when he was 13. Yeah, I never been there. Be his 10-wheel straight stuff. Well, I don't know. It's interesting. Thumper could use a car hauler to move his stuff out of Nebraska. Yeah, he could. I never thought about that. 38 says, I want one just to expand my parking. Man, that's a great freaking idea. one of those just to have more parking room. That's an awesome idea, 38. Forget the thing even being a functional trailer anymore. That's a really good idea. Yeah, unfinished projects. I'm sure it has a picture on it, and it's just like a red hat and some sunglasses and a fence or something. Twisted Mopar says high sugar and low sugar diabetic can cause a false high alcohol content in the breath test. Huh. Interesting. Thumper says my brother has 6 vehicles on racks above 6 vehicles on the floor. He's almost as bad as I am. Awesome. Tony looked into renting a 7 car hauler and it's a fortune. I'm sure it is. Everything is a fortune now. There's a guy that rents like portable shower rooms for over at Sykeston. He told me the price, and I mean, it's like, glad this chair has arms. I think I'd have been in the floor. I mean, for what it costs to rent that, you could, if you in 2 years you could build your own shower rooms. I'm sure. Yep, Dizzy's done a lot of driving single axle dump trucks, stuff like that. Yeah, 38. I would if I wouldn't have lived from Busted Radio Garage, I guess. Yeah. Most of the old parts was locked out of the chat. Well, it wasn't on no doing here. Tony says if I could have filled it, I'd have had to have charged over $2,000 a car to come to the No Name Nationals. You telling me that that sucker was over $14,000 to rent? How is that possible? Gosh. Well, I guess you got to figure your fuel in there too. Yeah, I know it wasn't Patrick, wasn't on this end, but that's interesting. I've actually had that. I was on a live on StreamYard on somebody else's channel one time, and the my comments just locked up. No, it was on this channel. It was on a Friday. It's been a while, and it my comments just locked up. I didn't want to refresh the page and mess up the stream or anything, so I just didn't have any comments the rest of the night. 10K got a factor fuel. There you go. It's crazy, Tony. So now unfinished projects thinking, hey, I can probably do a lot better. Halfwit says U-Haul charged me $350 for a one-way from Tennessee to Minnesota. Why in the world do you have a one-way going from Tennessee to Minnesota? Looks like it'd be the other way around. Clint, I'm telling you, if I don't have hands on that by Sykeston, I'm going to remedy it there. I have a stack right here, and I don't have that one with it. Dennis says, I never got any stickers made up. Need help in that area. A lot of people on YouTube are using the place called Sticker Mule, Twisted Mopar Garage. Brian can probably help you with that too. One ways cost more usually. Of course they do, because they know they got you. Right. So you can haul your S10, of course. Haul your 1960 model Volkswagen. Charger 383 Mopar says Vistaprint. Yeah. One ways to California are cheap. Yeah, probably. California, what a mess. Beautiful state, run horribly. If you look at the thumbnail there, Charger 383 Mopar, that's him in the burnout competition at the No Name Nationals last year. And that billowing smoke, that column of smoke had to have been 50 feet high. It was unreal. Drag Pack Merc, you coming out this year? Thumper says that's what happens when you elect commie morons. Yes, it is. Yeah, he says says due to the mass exodus in California, there's new U-Hauls there. Yeah. Let me see. Missed a comment from Joe. Sometimes I miss a comment the way it jumps because we have a lot of comments on here, anywhere from 500 to 1,000 per hour. Joe is doing the Mopar roll call video for No Name National. If anyone in the chat wants in and they have a Mopar and are registered, you can have them email me at justmoparjoe@gmail.com. I'm just going to pin that because that's a good one. Joe did a great job with that last year. So if you're a Mopar, you're running a Mopar to No Name Nationals and you're registered, send Joe an email, reach out to him. You want to get in on that. It was cool last year. Drag Pack Merc says might not be able to be there this year. Yeah, I get it, man. Tony says count me in. Clint's asking, what about my big block Mopar powered Subaru? Will be in mock-up at the No Name Nationals, but it will be there. Clint, what are you pulling that with? You're going to bring that for display? That's cool. Yeah, Patrick's saying, yeah, get with Joe. The sooner the better. Because I know for a fact, organizing a roll call like that, he needs all the time he can get. So get with Joe sooner than later. Yeah, so Clint's bringing that wild little creation. Well, cool. That thing is wild. If you've not seen Clint's Subaru, you need to go to his channel and check it out. It's pretty wild. Well, I'll put it like this: it's arguably wilder looking than Brian's Duster, and that's saying something. If I had my YouTube browser open, I'd pin that comment over there, but it's okay. I can just leave it on the screen. Dust Devil says, what? Dust Devil, have you seen Clint's Subaru? Yeah, it wasn't Clint's. He wasn't trying to one up you or anything, but you should check it out. I think Brian will like it. It's definitely his style. Well, remember the Knuckle Duster runs, so. But I'll tell you what, that'd be a pretty good looking matchup maybe next year. "38 POS Racing says I have a Mopar in the yard. Does that count?" So yeah, Mopar people, email Joe. That roll call was a lot of fun last year. I'm looking forward to seeing another one. Thumper says I could bring the CUDA. Well, what are you bringing, Thumper? If you, I mean, Auto Salvage Outlaw says I did a Ford shirt, all the Ford drivers. I think Auto Salvage has a community post about that. Halfwit's taking his truck to LS Fest. Well, that's cool. Just did it, Joe. Said no matches. What are we talking about there, Dizzy? Dean says, forget the car, Thumper. Just bring me some bootleg liquor. Thumper's stuff runs on vodka. All right, any of you guys have anything coming up? Anything you want to plug? We're going to have 2 more Friday Night Lives before the No Name Nationals. So I'll just remind everybody in here that a week from tonight is going to be some guys for the burnout competition. We're going to have William. We're going to have Chris from Busted Radio Garage, our defending champion, William, the Bad Tree Productions guys, and hopefully Square Body Chad. Should be a full house to talk about burnout debauchery. Dust Devil Garage says, standing behind the duster today, the bottom of the tail light is even with my belly button. What did I do? You lost your ankles? There you go. The emails are coming in, Joe. Hopefully it works out. Looking forward to another roll call. Yeah, 38 says, get off your knees. Yeah. Now, that duster's pretty wild. I would say most people in here right now have seen the knuckle duster, but if you haven't, you should. I'm looking forward to seeing it in person. It does, devil. You let the air out of the back tire. It was even higher. Maybe. You don't have air shocks on that, do you, Brian? I think it just has regular shocks and springs. It's just sitting so way up. You have mail. Man, I haven't heard that. What is that, AOL? Was that the one that said you have mail? That was back before they realized that, 98% of your email is stuff you never wanted to read or receive. It's getting so bad that the phone doesn't even work. People don't answer any number anymore unless they know who it is. Makes it hard for me if I'm calling somebody about the registration. I just have to hope they'll check the voicemail. Most people only check the voicemail, turn the light off. I've been trying to get hold of Back Motor Mike that has the Corvair funny car. I think that's what's happening with him. Dust Devil's going to have a leaf arch in that car like a monster truck. He puts air shocks on it. Tell Brian to get out his San Francisco sandals. What is Jerusalem Cruisers? Danny Boyd never set up voicemail on his cell. I don't think Just Mopar Joe has voicemail either, come to think of it. I unfortunately set mine up. I wish I hadn't, because I almost always answer my phone, almost always. And then I get a text from whoever else. Very few voicemails. But what happens is you send these things to spam, they can still leave a voicemail. They can fill your voicemail box up really fast. Super annoying. Clint says my voicemail's full on purpose so folks have to text. Right. I prefer text. Me too. Yeah, the biggest reason it's better for is text is better than voicemail. Okay, you get a voicemail and you have to go and check it. And then you wait for it to turn on. Then you wait for them to clear their throat. And then you have to listen to them cram 10 words of meaning into 1,168 words on a voicemail. And it's just, just and if you don't have time to listen to this minute and a half voicemail, you have to start over and listen to it again. So to me, I like the text. Buff Del Campo says, I am so late. Thumper says, tomorrow I need to finish the alternator bracket, run the sensing wire, see if it charges the battery. Then I can start on the cage. Okay. I'll just say that's ambitious. Bear Rose is building a pretty sweet gasser freak. Yes, he is. That is pretty freaking cool. JC Newbie, how's it going? Twisted Mopar hadn't had his voicemail set up for 7 years. Yeah, voicemail is a hassle. I do not like it. If there's got to be some 91-year-old person I'm bound to get a call from who needs that or something. The only thing better about voicemail is when you get one that's unintentionally hilarious or someone who's real upset. I have some dandy ones like that saved. Indeed. Glad you're here, Buff. Glad you could make it. Yeah, time's flown by pretty quick tonight. I'm going to stay here tomorrow so I can finally get my rear wheel bearings done on the CRV. I've been chipping away at it in between trips to going to work on my house. And I have a half of an inner bearing race on the rear hub that I could not get with the clamshell. So I had to pick up my Dremel, which is down there, so that I can score that race and get it off that way. The other one came off with a small clamshell, but yeah, whatever. Clint says, how's the house coming? House is coming great. I had a rotten window well that was rusted away at the bottom. So I put in a piece of 1/8 inch, 2-inch wide steel and welded that in, and kind of reminded me of a roll cage. Had to cover the glass to keep sparks off of it while welding, that close to it. And painted that and cleaned that big mess up. And now I've started on the porch railings, which there's the window, which turned out really nice. I'm going to clean that little blotch off of there, but it turned out really, really nice. And then the railing. So I had to weld up some spots on it. And I took a aggressive wire wheel and I just cleaned decades of nasty old running latex paint off of that. It was just horrible. So yeah, I cleaned all of that off. And that section right there took me about 30, 45 minutes just to clean. And then Anyway, you're seeing it in the process of cleaning there. So I got 7 more sections to do. I forgot about one down there. So I got 6, 7 more sections left, and it'll look so much better. But it's just stuff like that. It just, just takes some time. First responder says we all need 36-hour days, but the moon would have to be close enough to slow the planet, have 500-foot waves. This is true. However, if we can wait another, about, 2.5 billion years, we'll have 30-hour days because the Earth is going to slow down its rotation on its axis. And then we'll get 30 hours. So if you're still going to be alive then, you will enjoy it. I know that I will not be. 500-foot wave sounds exciting. Where I live, it'd probably be okay. But I'll tell you, even where I live, it'd be interesting. 500-foot wave goes a long, long way. One-Eyed Cat says, welding, I caught my garbage can on fire today. Don't weld over a garbage can. Well, I've done worse. Thumper says the sun will go red giant in about 5 billion years. Yes, it will. Our sun will burn itself out. Our sun is middle-aged right now. Unfinished Project said it's funny the stuff that people will believe. Yes, it is. Yes. Probably different things, but yes. Yeah, Don, did you get it on video? If you're going to catch something on fire, the least you could do is catch it on video. Don't wash it down with brake cleaner, then weld, though. It makes flammable and non-flammable. Colleen says sometimes it's scary what people believe. Yeah, like you should be offering your restoration services to the public. Yeah, not you. Yeah, there's some scary stuff out there. Yeah, I'm convinced that there are some people that just, it would be fascinating to know the origin of some of the things that people put out there and say. It's just, where's the beginning of this? Just some guy just says, okay, I'm going to create a completely original thought that there is zero truth to and just start saying it. I'd like to meet that guy. The only time I've ever known who that guy was, he got a letter, a certified letter. Choline says chlorinated, non-chlorinated. Correct. The red can and the green can. Well, Burns says, okay, who took Oprah's space laser? No idea. Well, Burns just slid in here. Thumper says people believe the darndest things, like Mopars are fast and Chevys are good. Tip of the iceberg, man. Orca, I don't even know. Looks like we're getting the weird comment time when people are just starting to put out some bizarre things on their keyboards now. I appreciate all you guys. I knew I would just go live tonight, my regular time. I always look forward to seeing you. It's a fun way to cap off the week. And I appreciate it. So just a quick reminder for all you guys, we're going to be live with the burnout competition guys a week from tonight, and we're going to have our pre-NNN live on September 15th, that Friday. If that day's right, I think that's right. That Friday we'll have that. And then I hope to be streaming from the burnout competition, because that's when we're going to be doing it, is my regular Friday night live. Tony's Hot Rod Garage is live in 5 minutes, and I'm going to hand off to him. But anyway, go over there and see Tony. I may swing in there in a little bit. But anyway, thank you guys. Thanks for coming out tonight. You guys have a stellar and a safe Labor Day weekend, and I am out. We'll see you guys.